out there in the freezing mud. 3,000 of them are bloodied and cleaved. 2,000 will never leave this place. I will not believe that they fought and died for nothing.
Then what would you believe?
What would you believe?
They fought for you.
I've seen much of the rest of the world. Brutal, cruel, dark.
I fucking hate when it does that. I'm fucking listening to something, you bastard. Do you understand? Yuppa! We're home. Yuppa! Hello. Good afternoon to you. Are you ready? I'd like to thank everyone for supporting me the last few weeks. I really appreciate it.
Don't get stuck in the park, laugh. You'll find everything you need for uni at Curry's, like this Lenovo Flex 5 Chromebook Plus. Supercharging.
And when the weekend comes, I'll live for that energy. Does that make sense to you? Do you feel what I'm talking about? I want to be in that moment. I need to feel that. Some call me crazy when I say this music is divine. Some even call it a higher power. I say call it what you want. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I believe is true. When you feel lost, let the music guide you. It is that powerful.
Right.
When the DJ spins that sound, it vibrates the room.
House and unit.
Right.
Power supply.
It's almost like
Timer. Trip switch. Detonator. Motherfucker. Yeah, do you know what fucks me right off? Shout out to Armin van Buren. One of the best DJs ever. Shout out to Armin van Buren. Archers! Loose! Motherfucker, the fucking keeps doing that to me. I was getting into that and you fuck off. Anyway, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Oh, mate, I'm fucked the flu too. While you're looking at me, motherfucker, I'm watching you too. Watching you stand alone, all of my doubts suddenly goes away somehow.
I'm the biggest fighter in all history. I'm the greatest fighter in all history. And I don't have to convince nobody now that I am great. They all know it.
I'll fight any man in the world. I'll beat any man in the world.
As you know, I don't believe or can see anyone beat me. Nothing worries me. This is nothing but a small thing that will soon be out of the way. I put everything on the line because I'm a true fighting champion.
Shout out to Muhammad Ali.
I got to run in the ring. I'm handling it. And I don't work on no
Champ,
back
champ.
to really hurt me, see. If you don't believe it, come down and try. I'm unranked. It will be no match. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm going to make all of them shut their mouths. All of my critics.
I love this guy. You know, I've like there's two champions I've always looked up to in my lifetime, and Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali fall in that category. You know, it's like he shook up the world, you know. And Bruce Lee is like, for me, it's like, you know, everybody, like when you're young and you see things like on TV, like gangster movies or watching Bruce Lee movies and shit like that. Like, I remember watching, I think it was called Enter the Dragon, and he was fighting this geezer, you know, and the geezer broke a bottle. Like brutal, do you understand? But you can't get bigger mentors than people like that. You know, champions, the way they carry themselves, you know, humble and noble, to have humility. Like I said, listen, yeah, I used to look up to gangsters as a kid, but I also looked up to him too, still. Will you turn around, you cunt? Like him. You know, in fact, when I was about his age in that picture, I had a stomach just like that. Regulated, conditioned. It's like I was, you know, I had discipline back then, but you fuck off, AI! You twat! Listen, sorry about that. Yeah, whoops the daisy. Anyway, what's going on in the world today? We're on here. Get up there with that. So, I think I'll be home next week, maybe. We'll see. You know what I mean? I had an amazing sandwich before. You know. Yep. Me neck needed to. Oh, crack. Yeah, did you hear that? Oh, I needed that one. Ready? Armed, primed, detonate, or send it. I'm sitting on my boots. Did I say archers loose? It is what it fucking is. Yes. It is. Anyway, here, don't all talk at once. I thought that we were meant to be. I gave you all my ecstasy. How are you, Andrew? Stick on my Hennessy.
Felt like you took my soul from me. You gave me all your ecstasy. I thought that we were meant to be.
Your love is suicidal. Your love is suicidal. Your love is suicidal. Your love is suicidal. Doesn't wanna be. Oh. I don't want you in my fucking life, and you'll never be my wife. You stabbed me with a big knife. Me signal keeps going, Andrew. It's a lag in me life. Can someone fucking tell me? Once I was 7 years old, my daughter told me,
go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger. Pushing each other to the limits, we were learning quicker.
So yeah, I said, fuck it, I'll come and do a live. It was fucking freezing earlier on, bro, and I'm not joking. The last 2 days, like, I picked up a bit of a flu, and I didn't want to come up here and fucking give it to me son, you know. But fucking anyway, I'm here. I'm a swinging. I know that. You know, I'll fight for my family tooth and nail, bro. Do you understand? Like, me son's happiness is paramount. Yeah. You know, I know what I need to do, whether I do it. Like I said, you can only try, that's it. You know. Shout out to Troy City.
I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping.
I showed you me logo, didn't I, Andrew, from me channel? Now, it's either being fucking stomped on, it's like, but that's my logo there, bro. STRAIGHTOUTTABALLYER. And it's mental health matters. You know, I have a football, a squirrel, a bird on it, you see, because I like birds and squirrels. I like any living thing, any animal. I'm a humanitarian. I love animals, you know, and it's like down where I live, down where my mum's house is, there's a lot of birds, and I'd say on maybe 3 occasions in 30 years, I seen an injured bird. You know, I've fixed more birds' wings with lollipop sticks over the years. It's like, but I remember I had a knock at the door, right? And one of the fucking neighbours said to me, bro, I was flying up the road. Now, this particular night, I'm not joking you. You know that rain that was pelting down, you know that kind of rain? He's coming back, bro, right? What's the odds of this? A seagull flying into you? You know, and that's what happened. A fucking seagull flew into him. And he felt tight on it because his wing was fucked up. So he come on the street with him. And he said, bro, you're never going to believe what happened to me on the way down the shop. Now, he was going to shop for me. He said he went for cigarettes and some milk, and he come back with milk, cigarettes, some chocolate, and a seagull. Well, it wasn't a seagull, it was a heron gull. Now, I knew fuck all about it, right? So he comes back and he's like, bro, this bird just flew into me, knocked me off me bike. He said, so I have it here. I was like, give me a look at it. Oh, it's fucking pecking me, you know what I mean? Now, at the time, I didn't know what kind of bird it was. It looked like a seagull to me. He said, bro, what are we going to do? I was like, what do you mean, what are we going to do? Bro, it fucking hit you, not me. You understand, it's like, but the humanitarian in me said to myself, this is a baby. And I rang the vet and I said, hello, vet. He goes, how can I help you? I said, well, a few minutes ago, my mate was on the way back from the shop, and in Manchester at the minute, it's pissing down and a seagull hit him. And I have a gull in distress. He said, listen, mate, I haven't got time for pranks. I said, listen, this ain't no fucking prank, bro. You know, it's not a full seagull. It looks like a baby, you know, and I don't know what to do. He's like, where are you located? So I give him me location. Andrew, I made a video. I made a few videos that night. I did a live. And bro, listen to me. My uncle showed me how to fix pigeon wings with ice pop sticks. Okay, but this fucking thing, when the vet come out, he told me it was a herring gull. So the wing on it, bro, like it was like a fucking accordion. And there was no way I could fix this, and there was no way I was going to attempt it because he kept pecking me. So I put him in the little shed and I give him a little blankie, and it's like I tried to warm him up, and it's like give him some water, and the vet come out and he's like, bro, it's a heron gull. He said it's a bit far away from normally where they come from. I said, mate, I said, listen, thanks very much for coming. He said, at first, mate, he said, an Irishman saying that a seagull hit him on the way back from the fucking shop. I said, he's from Manchester. It doesn't matter where he's from. You know, I have a fucking bird here, and it's like, if it was an adult, I would have done it a favour. But it was a baby, and I was thinking, you know, I have a chance to help this fucking bird fly, you know. He's in a lot of discomfort, so the vet come out and, you know, grabbed him, and, you know, obviously, like, he'd a broken wing, so he took him away, you know, and I named him Gully, you know, and that's why there's a bird in me logo, bro. I love animals, and in 30 years, see that house? I remember, now, like you see the big trees in the garden, I was making a cup of tea one day, and I looked in the fucking tree, and bro, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. They look like fucking, what's them birds called? Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Right, they look like green canaries, right? Now, I don't know whether you can get fucking, do you understand? But they were about the size of an average canary, but they look like little parrots, right? And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, bro, come here, look at this. And it's like, I'm thinking, as soon as a bird sees them, like a crow or a seagull, it's going to fly down, or a hawk, and grab one of them. And boom, gone. It's like, so there was no fucking possible way I could help these birds, because if I try to scare them away, they'd probably get killed because of the space. It's so fucking vast. And it's like, another time, not long after that, I looked out the window and there's a cat on the road. Now, I'm a dog. I don't have animals, okay? But I used to have dogs, and I've never had a cat, right? And my neighbour's cat Gizmo, I looked out the window one day and he had one of these little birds, yeah? And he was pecking fuck out of the feathers and all, and he left it in an awful state. I threw an egg or something at him, you know, not to hit him, just to scare him. So he'd let the board go, and there was no way I was fixing this. So I had to fucking, you know, and like I said, somebody must have been careless one morning and left their cage unlocked or their window, and the two of them went out it. And in the trees, they have no cover because number one, the colour of them is going to stick out, and bigger birds had picked them off. You know, but that whole seagull incident, you know, I mean, like they come out because your man thought it was a prank call. I was like, bro, look at one of my neighbours come to me and said a fucking bird hit him on the way back from Tesco. He went to get me cigarettes and milk, and he come back with cigarettes, milk, chocolate, and a seagull. He's like, bro, you're taking the piss. I said, mate, listen, I'll give you my address. You can come here. I'm not joking. There's a gull in distress. You know, and I helped it. It's like, you know something, yeah? He was able to tell me that it was a herring gull and it was a bit far from the coastline. He said, you know, it's only a baby, mate, right? I was like, mate, I don't know anything about it. I said, when I was a kid, my uncle had pigeons, and the odd time a cat get in the loft, and sometimes, you know, one side of the wing it'd be fucking ripped, and then the cat'd leave it and go on to another. So therefore, it couldn't fly. So my uncle come up with a couple of methods, being like, you know, a nice lolly stick, you know, you can fix a pigeon's wing. But this was way out my pay grade, you understand? Like, the vet went like that, look, and the fucking wing must have been about that long. That's like 3 lollipop sticks together, do you understand? Or a bit off a kite to fix it, you know. So what he did was he wrapped it up and took it away, and I was buzzing I was, because at the end of the day, it was like a baby, bro. You know, and what fucking chance, like, if you seen a child out on the street on its own, you'd fucking go to its rescue, right? You know, but when he knocked at my door with a bird, and it was a Sunday night, it was pissing out, and bro, couldn't be asked, you know, rescuing a girl. He said, what we gonna do? I was like, hang on, I fucking hit you, not me. He said, yeah, but bro, you can speak to the RSPCA. I said, well, get me the fucking number and I'll ring them. But fair play to the guy for coming out. You know, I learned something that night. You know, it was only a baby and its wingspan was fucking massive. You know, like, I'd no way of even attempting to touch, because anytime I touched this wing, he was pecking me, you know. So, yeah, I felt good about myself. Like, people would laugh at that shit and all and say, why didn't you just throw it over the fence? Would you throw a baby over a fence? Because that's what I would be like doing. And a cat would have gotten him because he can't fly. So I had to give him a chance to fly again, you know. And fair play to the vet. You know, the other night I was going to kidnap a hedgehog. But I realised at the side of the fence there was a little hedgehog, a little baby one, waiting for its mother to come back. You know, so like I said, man, I've seen a lot of mad things in that garden. You know, I even have UFOs watching me at night. Did you see the dancing? See last night, them lights? Now, normally they have a big fucking thing on the Etihad, okay? Beams, and in town they have them, like, and they're fucking they're like them. It reminded me of the war lights in a way the other night. The sky was clear and you could see them as clear as day. Hang on, guys, watch me messages. Fucking. Nah, bro, listen to me. If I see an animal in distress, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, fucking, it was this baby seagull, you know what I mean? I had to give it a fucking chance, and the geezer come out. So I said, what's gonna happen? He said, well, I'll bring it back to the office and we'll x-ray him, and, you know what I mean, let his wing heal, and depending on how damaged it is, I said, do you reckon he'll be able to fly again? And he said, I'm sure it will, bro. You know, he said, fair fucking play to you for ringing us. He said, I thought it was a prank at the start. He said, but, you know, and listen, that's why my logo, look, there's 3 animals, 2 animals, look. No, sorry, there's a squirrel, a bird, and a football, look. Squirrel, bird, and football. Right, that's my logo for my channel. STRAIGHTOUTTABALLYER, someone did that for me. You know, like I said, I'm a dad, I'm a granddad, I'm a humanitarian. Anybody who sees an animal in distress and goes and helps them is a good person. You know, like the easy thing to do would have been tell him to fuck off away from my door, you mad bastard. What am I meant to do? He said, bro, I don't know how to fucking, you know, we can't just leave him like that. And he made me feel guilty. So I was like, fuck's sake. I wish I was so soft. You know, I am soft. I love animals. I think they're fantastic creatures. You know, it's like I love stuff about wildlife and what have you. And David Attenborough and Richard Attenborough are fucking legends. You know, like some of the videos they make, well, they made, you know, like legendary. You know, I love gorillas, right? Gorillas are probably my favourite animals on the planet, right? They're so intelligent. And it's like, I've watched a lot of stuff about apes and chimpanzees, and I remember watching this one thing, and this woman or chimp went fucking nuts one day and fucking ripped the face off her and beat her to death. You know, like fucking, she got beaten to death by her fucking pet. You know, like a lot of people, like, you know, I see people on the internet that have fucking lions and tigers, and do you know it's a scary tactic? Allegedly, many years ago in a certain part of Dublin, I think the police raided this particular house and found a cougar in the fucking garden. Okay, I'm gonna paint you a picture, right? Just imagine I have an animal I'm not supposed to have, yeah? Just imagine, yeah, if I have a certain animal, a certain cat, like a cougar, a panther, a puma, it's like, and I don't tell anybody. Imagine you owe me fucking money. Okay. Where's me money? I haven't got it. Okay. Get in that shed now. Imagine being dragged into a shed, right? And when you look and there's a fucking panther or a cougar or whatever they're called, you know, like that on a chain, ready to eat you. You know, you'd come up with a way to get that money, wouldn't you? Mad bastards. You know, like, and in all fairness, yeah, I've a pal, right, that's dead. Yeah, he was executed in Thomas Street in front of my niece. It's like, cause Neil Douglas is like family to me, and Dottie was his nephew, or Dottie was his uncle, and it's like, he worked at Dublin Zoo as well, right? Still, and allegedly a couple of cougars went missing overnight or something like that. So I heard, and anyway. But imagine that. Imagine you're a bad man, yeah, and you owe a bad man money, and it's like he fucks you in a shed with a certain animal. Listen to me, yeah, you're gonna shit yourself, because I know one thing. If I was thrown into a shed, yeah, never mind fucking psychopath dogs and shit, but if you're fucked in a room with a fucking tiger or something, you know, or whatever, fuck that, mate, you know. But they're very creative. I will give it to them in Dublin. I could tell you a few stories, mate, and you wouldn't believe it. It's like, but the facts, known facts, you know, and it's like, look, there's a lot of bowsies out there, you know, and according to the media many years ago, one of my pals allegedly smuggled something out of a job he did, and he gave it to the highest bidder, basically. And I'll tell you one thing, man, on a 10-10 scared level, I know one thing, if you throw me in a fucking cage with a man-eater, I'm gonna come up with your fucking dough, mate. Honestly. You know, it's just like fucking you in a room with one of them, right? Now, one of them is now, like I said, right, I read an article in a certain paper, being the Sunday World, and he said that a lad in Dublin had nourishment for exotic pets. Yeah. Now, according to the Sunday World, a certain couple of people had certain cats in their back. Now, you imagine getting fucked into a shed with a man-eater and nowhere to run and being tied up. Imagine that. You know what I mean, mate? I'm not joking you. Oh, God. Like, I've seen some fucking mad things in my life, yeah? Like, last night, my brother triggered me. He triggered a memory. So, I'm walking up the stairs, yeah? Yesterday. And bless me, brother, you know what I mean? He was ironing. And when I got to the top of the stairs, there was an ironing board. And I had to pick the iron up and move the ironing board, and it fucking triggered me. I said, bro, you know something, while I have this iron in me hand, you know what? I was in a house one time, yeah, and I seen a geezer make another geezer with a collar around his neck drink water and cocaine, yeah, and he stuck a fucking iron to the guy's fucking ear. Do you understand? And the guy was screaming, and the smell of him burning, and I was like, I got sick, you know, and he wouldn't let me leave until me mate come, and I was fucking terrified, mate, because I've come across a lot of psychopaths, but to inflict that pain on another human being, regardless, you know, it's like it fucking bothered me, you know. I was like, yeah, if being a tough guy, if this what's about, fuck that, mate, I am out. Get me back to England. You know, like I said, man, I grew up, but I'm not a tough lad. I never was. I was just a drug dealer. That's it. You know, and I got caught doing fucking stupid shit. You know, but I think in order for you to repent and to say to God, depending if you're God fearing, if you're God fearing, you can forgive anybody. You know, you can't just forgive 75% of people, and then, because then you're not a proper believer. I believe in forgiveness, me. I also believe absence makes the heart grow fonder, you see. You know, today, I'm 28 days in, and in my mind, I've been released from a psych ward without being on certain medication. You know, they would have pushing it. Because, like I was saying to Lisa earlier on, when you mention keywords like suicide and suicide ideology, I'm certified psychotic, and I'm on a lot of meds. So if I went to the local hospital and said to them I'm having suicidal thoughts, and they contact the mental health team in the hospital where I've already stayed for 4 weeks a minute ago, like a long time ago, right? And they've got a duty of care to protect me, like, cause I'm not gonna lie, it's like the last few fucking weeks, last few months, I've been triggering a lot more. you know, and it's fucking snowballed. Do you understand? It's like, and I'd like to thank you all for your support the last few weeks. You know, it's like, yeah. I fall into a rain of fire. But yeah, I'd like to thank you for your support. Like the last few weeks, you know. You see, me telling you that I'm a mental health advocate and I've survived suicide twice. And I believe that every man or woman is that close from having a meltdown, like a full on meltdown, you know. And it's like a lot of men are too proud because they're too hard, aren't they? Everyone on YouTube thinks they're a fucking tough guy, but they won't talk about their feelings. That's gonna compromise you, Mr. Tough Guy. You know, I do laugh at them. You know, some of them look and they say, yeah, I'm a gangster, I'm a tough guy. What makes you a tough guy? What, because you sell a few ounces of blow? Or you sell a few ounces of glow or snow? You know, listen, where I walked away from, I started as ecstasy, and allegedly it's ended up metric tons going through. So you imagine that. Now, that's not my words, that's the media are saying metric tons of cocaine. Over the last 10, 15 years in Ireland, the Kinahans have dominated the city allegedly, according to Paul Williams and all them other journalists that write about the Kinahans, right? See, I'll give him props. You know, Christy Kinahan can speak 4 languages, right? He's educated. He got himself educated because he fucking knew business and management. You understand and you grow like a fucking tree. Like, he's smart. But I'd imagine that their cash, they are hiding in a bunker in Iran somewhere, because see, the federal government, once they put a RICO case on you, man, you are fucked. And one thing the federal government has got that you don't have is time. And they've all the time in the fucking world, mate. And see them, they're on the most wanted list in America, yeah? They're fucked if they fall. Now, I be honest with you, I think somebody's hiding them. Their movements are restricted because they can't tell the world. You know, I'm a flash cunt. Listen to me. I want to take us back to Dublin. One particular day, at a boxing weigh-in at a particular hotel, 2 men walked in there with body armour on, like they were SWAT, with AK-47s. Their target was to neutralise Daniel Kinahan. They tried to look for him. They went through the fucking hotel, do you understand? And anything that moved, it'd be tagged. And they didn't find him, but they found his mate. And they shot him like a dog. Do you understand? And everybody know what family did that. I don't need to say shit. It's in the media. Do you understand? And I didn't realise how powerful some of these families are. I've a very big family, but there's always someone out there bigger than you. You understand? And it's like, what happened was balance and the power shifted. Do you understand? And according to Paul Williams, Cherry Orchard is a family. People have said to me over the years, Jude, you're a gangster. Listen, I was in a gang of mates. We weren't fucking gangsters. Do you understand? We wanted to be, but it ended up here. It snowballed. And when I left, it's like it grew like a tumour inside me. You know, and every one of me mates that were executed, it was like getting shot in the soul, and like a fucking hole for every one of my mates that were executed. And I know for a fact that if I didn't leave it, I was in 3 places. I was either going to jail I was going to a cemetery, or I would be buried somewhere where nobody'd ever find me. You know, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. You know, I grew up with some of the most ferocious vicious killers, allegedly. And, you know, I didn't want to be part of that life. You know, I've seen things that I lost me nerve. Like, I'll be honest with you, if you're in a place, a house, and you see something you're not supposed to see, like I said, a situation I was in once where I seen a fucking human being chained up like a fucking dog, and this mad bastard was feeding him cocaine in the water and saying, "Drink that, bitch." Proper degrading this guy, and I'm thinking, you know, it's like he did something and I got sick. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, listen, if this is what being a tough guy is, I don't want any part of it, because I have not got the minerals to stick a fucking iron to another human being's head and mimic his fucking screams. Like in Silence of the Lambs, where fucking she's screaming, and my man who, you know, don't you hurt my dog, mister. Put the fucking lotion in the basket. You know, I'm like, fuck, like another psycho. But this guy, like I said, man, I got sick. The smell of the guy's there getting burnt, and he was screaming. And this fucker was mimicking the screams. I was fucking shitting myself, and only for Dougie come over, man, and got me out of that house. So I was like, bro, he's like, what are you fucking doing that in front of him for? Dougie went mental. But I'm not gonna lie, I was getting sick. You know, I'm not joking, I must have gotten sick about 4 fucking times, mate, because the smell of it. You know, this mad bastard was snorting cocaine at 11 in the morning, having some fucking cunt that owed him 18 grand, chained up in the fucking kitchen like a fucking dog. Hey, bro. The Russian government is going after Khabib, mate. Looks like Conor McGregor was right once again, bro. Bro, I've not seen anything. But nah, bro, I was just reminiscing, you know, thinking we all grow up around tough guys, right? But I've grown around tough guys as well. But some of the things that I fucking allegedly seen and didn't see bothered me. You know, like, fuck's sake, man, look how soft I am. Do you understand? I rescue seagulls and shit. Fuck's sake, you know. Like, leave your ego at the door, mate. Like, and it's sad because, like I said, in Dublin gangland, it's like I felt a duty of care to some of my pals, you know, that got killed over there. And it's like, look, if you want to be the man over there, you're going to have to stand on a few of your mates' necks. And that's what started happening. And I got away at the right time because I made a calculation that, listen, Jude, if you fuck off to Manchester, your brothers won't grow up on a street corner. Do you understand? And I don't want that on my conscience, because if one of my brothers ended up going to jail and getting hurt, that'd be on me, right? And I took it out of the equation, and now, not only did my son, let's say, I have a fucking degree in life, forget what other skills I have in me box. My son's got a degree. My 2 brothers are doing construction management degrees at the moment. They're halfway through. Mark's got 1 year left. He deserved that fucking holiday, bro. You know, and it's mad. You have to go through fucked up shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Loads of us live on rough housing estates. You know, but it's like you have certain housing estates all around Ireland, you know, in Limerick, in Cork, in Dublin, you know, and the next level, like when I left there, you know, we all loved each other. And we all made a fucking pact that we'd never, you know, if we're all alive when we get to 50, we don't forget each other. And you know, broke my fucking heart, yeah. I grew up with a fucking lad all my life, yeah. And he's so humble and noble and all that. But he hasn't got 5 minutes for me. You know. Like, but I believe if I paid for the services to talk to me, and it's fucking, you know what I mean, shame on him. He's a good guy though. I wouldn't slate him because he'd fucking, you know what I mean, he'd fuck me up, but, you know, it just hurts my feelings, you know, because see me, if I'm your fucking mate, yeah, I'm a very fucking loyal one. You know, and I was just saying to Lisa, you know what my problem is? I always expect people to have my principles. Now, I'm not a fucking angel. You know, it's like I have got a past, and it's like, look, there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, and I'm ready to let mine go, because it's the only way I can fucking grow. You know, look where I am. You know, I've come home for a day or so, and I'll probably come back home next week for good. We'll see. You know, I love me missus, I do. And if something's worth fighting for, mate, you fucking fight for it. Simple. You know, that's what I'm doing. I love me missus. Oh, and she made me an amazing sandwich before, yeah. It was fucking lovely. But, nah, bro, you know what it is? It's like, not, oh, fucking hell, crowbars just fell. Not a crowbar, fucking bow prop. Like, you has a fucking, forget it. Doesn't matter. So, bro, I've had to have a mad think, you know. And it's like isolation is the best solution, you know. For the resolution, do you understand? Like, we're not looking for no resolution or a revolution. But, ha! I got your back, you twat. So, the way I say it is, sometimes in life you have to fight for things. No, Andrew, in all fairness, I don't. I've been over here that long, but in a couple of weeks I have a few of my cousins coming over from Clondalkin. You know, some of my cousins' kids. You know, like I said, I have a lot of family at home. But there was someone in my life who said last week that they were one of 15. Imagine, now that's what you call a big family. 15, like, don't get me wrong, like, my aunties and uncles have all had like 4 and 5 and 6 kids. You know, my auntie Carmel is like 4 boys and 4 girls. Hey, Jay, you big scouse fucker, you. Shout out to Jay. And guys, see if you're not sub to Mr. Lucifer there, can you go give him a sub? Nah, bro, I'm calm. I've had major stress, bro, the last few weeks, you understand? It's like, and I'm like, listen, this ain't no joke thing. It's like, you know, it's me life, and it is what it is, and it's like, yeah, Jay, I hit 2, I hit 4. Jay, can you remember on my old channel, Fighting Back United, what you said to me? Dude, your first 100 is your hardest to get. Remember that, Jay? Hey, 3,900 later, bro. Foxy stole my channel and he blocked you. He blocked everybody. So I had to start this channel again. I didn't do this for the money. Jay, you know I had my channel monetized, yeah, for a few months, and then I crashed it purposely. You know, I've always did this to get me channel back. Fuck the money, bro. This is about me pride. And I come and got me channel back, didn't I? Me face, I didn't hide. Hey, to some people's demise. Justice for the 97, bro. Ireland won last night. I was like, we have a little fucking chance, a tiny chance. you know. But nah, it's like, you know, you only get one life, and at the end of the day, he's great, bro. He's out with his mum at the moment. I'm in the back of the house. He's great, bro. You know what I mean? And I fucking love him. And I love his mum. And if the truth be told, Jay, you probably know me longer than a lot of the people in here. Me and you, mate, we've been part of this community for, I can speak for myself, 7 years, but I'd imagine you're on YouTube a lot longer than me, because you were one of the first to advise me, and you said to me, Jude, your first 100 subs is the hardest to get. And when I had Fighting Back United, it took me nearly 4 years, Jay, to get 600 subs, and then Foxy jumped on board. I dived off the cesspit. And you know what hurted me as well? You know Matthew Fillenboy? He said I never helped that channel grow. You know, nah, Jay, you're on here longer than 4 years. You know, Jay, listen, you were on the cesspit, you seen it. Bro, did I not help that channel grow? You know, and he said that I didn't. He turned around the bastard, and you know what he said, right? He said, when you come in me live, bro, people go, hang on a minute. 18 months ago, though, you were all right with me sharing your channel and getting thousands of people to come in your fucking live. You know, then Hector start going on, right? COVID hit us. It's like, listen, I said it to Hector. I said, see you, big man. I said, you and Mrs. can bonnet you. You shut the fuck up. You know, we have a good little group of people here. But at the end of the day, Jay, there's a lot of fucking snakes on our community. You know, people. And Jay, I've met a few people off the community. Like, I've met Jimmy DeGent, Zeus. I've met Lee Marvin Hitchman. I've met Ben Monk. He was working in Manchester. I met a few people, bro. You know, and I love making football content, right? And it'd be like you if you ever come to Manchester. I'd say, Jay, I'll meet you at the Etihad, because it's a neutral location there, and it's one of the most camerated up fucking places, mate. You have Elon Musk next door, Telstar. How are you, Spencer? You Bowsy, yeah? Like I said, you big Bowsy, yeah. It's like, hang on, guys. How's Spencer McDermott doing? Like, you've been accused of leaking voice notes. How fucked up. Jay, me and I tell you, right? I fucking told you, there's loads of cunts on YouTube, right? You know, but the good thing is, when you have people that know you, right? That know what you did and know what you fucking didn't. And Spencer McDermott will tell you, because we both grew up on Cherry Orchard Avenue, right next to the fucking Red Wall. And PD come on the cesspit one night, bro, and you know what, yeah? I've met PD in person. I wanted to strangle the prick. And you know what? He's got balls, I'll give him that. He got a taxi on his fucking own. Here, to me Mars. And we had a chat. He shook me hand. And I was like, bro, you're a cunt. You went and told people what I fucking allegedly did. You know, and you fucking embarrassed me and shamed me on there. He's like, yeah, but Fillenboy is a prick, and he was calling people smackheads and this, that, the other. But yeah, he's got a big fucking smack. And I got offended by it. I used to fantasize about meeting him on my own. It's like, but he come and met me, bro, and shook me hand and looked me in the fucking eye. And I tell you what, he looked very dapper that day. Now, like I said, guys, this is a very old fucking house, Spencer. I have a problem with the wall. Look, the wall is fucked. I have my own red wall there, but it's about to fall down. It reminds me of home. Like, even when I look at that, Spencer, look, I have to get the jet wash, go over all the fucking bricks, You know, I like plants and shit, right? So, and of Spencer, look at that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to get all the moss off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandblast it all, right? It's like, and like I said, I'm going to blast it, I'm going to sand it, and then I'm probably going to paint it. You know, red wall, like our old community, Spencer. Look, yeah, what's that remind you of? Hey, we don't need no education. Hey, we're from Cherry Orchard, bro, and you know something, Spencer. Hey, it's like, so here, wait till you hear this, right? So, one of the Fitzpatricks is coming over to see me in a few weeks. You probably know him, Daniel. Do you know Daniel? He's one of the Fitzes. All the ones that drinking Finches, right? It's one of the kids. He's coming over, like he's nearly 20, you know what I mean? And he's a brilliant lad, he is. But Spencer, you know something, right? The way me and you grew up, right? And who we grew up with, where we grew up with, the asylum, I can write about that and it won't trigger me as much.
Honey, I'm home.
Hey, you gorgeous. I'm just out here talking to a couple of people. I love you. Yeah, I'm working on myself as well, like, but Spencer will tell you, he comes from the same place that I come from, and there's loads of houses up there, but we're all like a big family, and that's what I was like up there. You hit one of us, you hit us all. Spencer, am I right? You know, good community values, you know. But like I said, this was meant to be a project I was starting, right? And I was like, right, so I had to forget, right? So, like I said, see that wall, Spencer, and the landlord isn't going to do nothing, you know, so it's a project. So I'm going to have to sandblast the whole thing, bro. Do you understand? A lot. You understand? And I'm fucking saying, like, what the fuck, bro? Honestly, it's like, it's going to, like I said, I start something and then I disappear, I get fucked out. But things are looking up, you know. I never give up the fight, bro. There's always hope. You know, I'm out the back garden, you know. But I reached out to Harper, right, and I said, right, yeah, listen to me. I'm writing a book, yeah. You know the way Harper is, right? I love him. I have a lot of love for all the Ballier boys, right? So I said, bro, listen to me. I'm writing a book, yeah. I hope you don't mind if I put you in it. He said, what do you mean put me in it? He said, fucking go for it, dude, not a bother. I was like, can you remember a psychopath dog and what you did to me one day? I'm going to write about it. I'm going to write about his mother putting me out when I was on fire after trying to blow Hello Costello up in a car that I snuck up like a ninja and put a piece of lighting paper in the fucking petrol can and nothing happened. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I creep back up and, you know, backdraft me. Spencer, it must have lifted me 2 feet off the ground. And he shit his trousers. Shitey jocks. You know, he didn't bully me anymore. You know, and then I moved up to all you fucking mad bastards. Like Spencer, you're probably Mark's age. But I was just saying to me live earlier on and yesterday, me and you went to learn about the Lord and the Bible and being humble and noble and trying to be as righteous as you can. The righteous man will win in the end if you repent, bro. You know, but you have to mean it. And I'm God-fearing. And bro, when you're God-fearing, you have to have forgiveness in your heart, right? And a few people did fucked up shit to me. Like, look what Gibbo allegedly did to me many years ago. And I'm going to write about it. And he's good with it too. But, alright, I'll tell you through my eyes, Spencer. You know, at the back of your mammy's house, Well, not the back. At the back of your mammy's house, right? And then at the back side of Muni's gaff, on that set of tracks, yeah, I was thrown onto that embankment. I was after getting me ass bit, dragged from Finglas, right? Without saying too much. But bro, I believe that was meant to happen because then I went to the UK, you know, but that morning or that afternoon, the boys were after fucking me up, right? Without saying too much, and I deserved it, right? And it's like, I'm on the railway line, Spencer, yeah? I'm tilted over on me fucking head. Me head's not far away from the fucking, the line. And I seen Gibber walking up the railway. And you know, when he see me, I could see it in his face. He didn't know. He'd no idea it was me he was getting it for. Because I was after getting him out of a debt or two within the month. And he handed someone a shotgun to shoot me with. And Spencer broke me heart. I was like, just fucking shoot me and get it out of the way. They bent me around with that gun. It didn't work. Guns don't work without a firing pin. It was my own gun. Do you think I'm going to leave me firing pin in it? It's like we were 13 and with a battered shotgun that you had to cock with a screwdriver. But listen to me. My uncle showed me a little bit about something. You know, but like I said, it's like the deed was already done. I could see it in his face. He'd no idea it was me. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, I was still like, they were at the bashing me, Spencer, dragging me in a van from Finglas, put a hood over me head, beat the shit out of me. You know, and I remember over the backers, they went over the Semper Bridge, yeah, and they come onto the fields, McNeil's fields, and they fucked me over moving van, Spencer. You know, they had me hands and me legs tied. Hey, did you know that? They tied me up in the van like a hog, allegedly. Now, I've reached out to a few of the lads and I've said, listen, I'm thinking about putting a few words together, but I need your permission. So I've reached out to a few of the K's, right? I've reached out to Harpo. I've reached out to Pat Maguire because I want to mention Sam in my book, right? And Spencer, listen, I don't need to write about my childhood. Well, not the firing anyway. That's a totally different project. That'd be either Inferno's Legacy or Embers of Redemption. And the first chapter is the fucking matchstick. But I'm going to write a book about Straightouttaballyer, about growing up on the corner that I grew up on. And Spencer, you're my fucking witness, because you witnessed it. Do you understand all the madness up there, all the chases, all the nicked cars and all that shit? You know, and then we all moved, not all of us, myself and Gibbo, Spencer, we weren't supposed to get out of there. But we wanted more, and our family means more to us than the life and cocaine money, bro. You know, Spencer, if I'd have been still over there, I'd have probably been balls deep in that, would I not? So, bro, I had to sacrifice my own life for my children to prosper, so my brothers wouldn't grow up in the street corner selling shit. I seen that. This is what's going to happen if you don't go. You're not just saving your life. You're going to save Mark and Alex's in the end. You know, and I don't give a fuck, Spencer. You know the way I am. You know, it's like I'll always say education's the way forward, you know, and a few of the lads that we grew up with are starting to learn how to read and how to write. And I had to reach out to one of them and I said, bro, listen to me. You know I'd never gaslight you. You know, this isn't about naming people. But I have got a relationship that I had with me friends growing up in the flats in Bluebell from 4 to 10. I grew up with the Duns in Bluebell. I grew up with the O'Driscolls. I grew up with the O'Sullivans, the Doyles. And then we all moved up to Ballyfermot. You know, and Spencer, you know, when you first moved up to fucking there, bro, where you're not fighting all the time in order to get the boys' respect. And they all used to pal around at my corner, you know, and it was great. It's like, and some of the lads aren't here, you know. I would fucking murder one, darling. And I give you me cup. Oh, I'm just, yeah, I love you. I'll be in a few minutes. But, so I have to get the jet wash and fucking, like I said, Spencer, do you understand? Because it's a big project, you know. It's like, it's fucking, like I said, bro, it's, you know, man, like now I'm up here, so it's like I'll get the jet wash. The only thing I'm worried about is this wall. You know, I'm like I said, I'm thinking of patching it up myself. That's not a problem. It's just the wall is not level. Spencer, honestly, it's the house from bleeding hell. The fucking landlord, may whoever put up this wall, don't get me wrong, over time, it's like brick. If it's not filled in, it can deteriorate and it'll collapse. Do you understand? Like, for instance, look, watch. Spencer, look how loose that is. Look at it. It's like it's just been thrown in. You know, like any fucking bricklayer can tell. Spencer, look. Do you understand? Look. Do you see how easy it is? Look the way it's coming away. Do you understand? So if I hit that with a jet wash, right, if you look at it from there, if I hit that with a jet wash, I risk that collapsing. Do you understand? It's like this side, if it was like that, listen, I'll blitz the fuck out of that. You know, I'll sand it and I'll paint it. You know, but like I said, it's like I've only, like I was starting a little project in here, right? So I have loads of little plant pots everywhere, yeah? And then it's like, I like plants and I like fucking trees, okay? And they're everywhere fucking around me. But so Spencer, I reached out to them individuals and I said, listen, I'm gonna write a book, yeah, and there's parts of my life that you were in, that your mammy was in, and some of the spots you put me in, like throwing me into a fucking room with a straitjacket on, with a psychopath dog. It's like I said, bro, listen, I'm gonna write about that. You know, there's only the funny bit, Spencer, like, if you ask Harpo, right, what he did to me that day, allegedly, right? So we were acting the bollocks in the house, right? We were all going out that night, fucking getting dressed and all, right? So myself, Harpo, were in the room, and Kenneth, Eddie, and Dee Dee had a straitjacket, and it was either going on me or Harpo, and Harpo betrayed me, the bastard. It's like he helped them hold me down and put it on me, right? And Spencer, listen, you know the way, look. Hey, you know the way I like that? Except for it's going over here, yeah? And the other one is going over here. Right? And I'm telling you now, Spencer, Flo was riding me leg. You know what I mean? It's like riding me leg, and I was screaming, and them bastards were pissing themselves laughing, you know? I'm going to write about Jay Dunn and Pato, rest in peace. I remember he sent his dog out to eat me and Ken O'Driscoll. Hey, and I hit her with a brush, bro. And Bridie and Georgie come out, you know, the whole lot of them. And the madness is, you know, Sharon, who was with Bobby Joe. You know, my sister, they're our godparents. Jenny's godfather was Bobby Joe, and godmother was my Sharon Dunn, Jay Dunn's sister. You know, but I'll beat his ass that day. And Spencer, you know how tough he fucking was, right? But you know, as a kid, bro, whooped his ass, and I did it again in Ballier one night. Cause do you know what he did? You know Ingo? Hey, you know that lived across from Lisa O'Reilly. He was picking on him, bro, you know, and we were all on the community centre, right, on the roof. Remember when the community centre got built and we got in there and wrecked it, allegedly? We were all sitting on the top wall. Spencer, look, it was about, I'd say, where that fucking thing is there, yeah? He come behind him and went like that. Look here. He booted him off it. He went like that with his leg, look, bang. And fucking, you know what I mean? And he was a bit of a bully and all. Now, I'm not talking bad about Jay, because he's dead and all, but he was a bully. You know, sometimes. And Mark Desmond was a fucking bully too. You know, look what happened to him. Spencer, he had to be neutralised. He was a dangerous man. You know, and we used to try to get rid of him because there was a smell of whacker on him. You know, like, and he always used to, he'd always pick his arse and all and do this and all. And I'm like, bro, every time he come up, let's say there was 20 of us at the corner, half of them would just fucking walk away. You know, because no one liked him. He wasn't a very likeable guy. You know, he's a very dangerous guy. You know, and the services were very fucking sought after, you know, but look what happened to him. You know, he was a very dangerous man. I knew when I come to the UK that one day someone was going to say he got fucking shot or something, and look what happened. You know, but Spencer, at the end of the day, the way I see it is, I've had to ask a couple of the lads. Now, I'm not going to put out, it's just funny stories that they all remember, you know. Like, I don't know whether you remember the dog he had, Flo. Now, that dog changed hands. It went from Mark Desmond to Jay Dunn, or to Jay Dunn, Mark Desmond. And I had, one of its eyes was just white. You know, and the other one was blue. And Spencer, this fucking dog, mate, put the fear of God into me, you know. But, and another thing as well, growing up in Bluebell Flats, Bernie put me out, Spencer. Hello Costello, he robbed me fucking skateboard, bro. He was picking on me. Me dad ended up having a row with his dad. I'm not going into it. Someone ended up doing a whoops-a-daisy over the balcony. It's like, you know, this cunt was like nearly 4 years older than me and he wouldn't leave me alone. You know, so I caught him one day on his own without his friends and I put the, honestly, shit his trousers. I got hurt more than he did. You know, I put a piece of lighting paper in the fucking petrol tank and it blew Spencer. And while I was looking, I got her in the face. And me granny lived in the same block as Bernie. She lived right underneath her, you know, 74. And Bernie ran out, come out and put me out. Wally O'Sullivan's dad was coming through the flats at the time and seeing it. And he took off his overcoat and put it on me. You know Wally O'Sullivan, his dad, right? So Bernie brought me into the fucking house and she had to put, you know, that wire gauze. You know the gauze? It's like in Vaseline and it's like a little square. And she put it on me face and all till the ambulance come, you know what I mean? Oh, like, but he never picked on me again. I'll write about that. I'm going to write about the notorious Red Wall gang and some of the things that I seen and what I didn't do, but I'll do the lads proud, Spencer. You know why? Because all the fucking media and the headlines about Ballyfermot, bro, they've never liked us and they run us down. 98% of people in Cherry Orchard are fucking good people. Do you understand? It's just a minority. And it's crazy up there. You know, like if you fucking break the rules, mate, you'll know about it. And it's sad, like, because Spencer, we're granddads. I think you're a granddad, aren't you? You know, and we want to see our kids prosper, like, but Spencer, I knew when I got out of Mountjoy when I was 21, I need to go back to England. I don't want Mark and Alex growing up on a street corner in Ballyfermot, you know. See, Mark and Alex used to pal around with the Halls and Matthew Cullen and Des Bourne and Robert Clifford and Richard Devricks. You know what I mean? And Gerard O'Reilly, Glenn Riley, fucking, you know, all them lads. You know. And then, like, there was Snuggles, Deco. Like, Ian and Glenn were too young at the time. Spencer, you know Glenn, right? So, so where the other fella lives, Arthur Lyons used to live next door, right? You know, Glenn was looking out the window one day, out the back window, and he fell out the window, and the lion broke his fall. Like, he fell. Now, I didn't see it, I was just told. So he fell out the window backwards, hit the fucking washing line, and landed on his feet, the jammy bastard. And rest in peace to him. Like, Spencer, listen, and I tell you, right? Between me and yourself, over the years, we've lost a lot of fucking people, yeah? And a lot of them I'm going to mention, like, see Bert. I'm going to write a whole chapter about Mario. You know, I just don't know what to call the chapter. You know, but it is what it is, bro. I've said it from the start. It is what it is, and yeah. So, guys, you can fuck off now. I'm going into me family. But yeah, I have a big project here as well, Spencer. Like, it's easy down the other place because I have a jet wash, everything. You know, well, I think the jet wash is at my sister's, but I'm a bit concerned about the wall. You know, like, if I hit that with a jet wash, like, Spencer, look, like, you could park a fucking car in there, for fuck's sake. Whoever did this hadn't got a fucking clue. As a bricklayer, it's fucking shocking, mate. It's fucking, honestly. But listen to me, and look at that crack, look. It's like a big gowl there is. Look at it, a big crack in it. You're going to start spitting on it in a minute. Look at it. Spencer, do you understand? Whoever did this had no idea about brickwork. Now, over the years, it declines on a fucking... You get chunks, but bro, a crack like that, I haven't got what... I can't afford to fix this. Now, I can put a bit of fucking... You know, I can make a bit of cement and, you know, I can fill in the cracks and shit, but it's some fucking crack, mate. You know, so me mate has a banging jet wash. He said, bro, I'll bring the jet wash over and we'll fucking try hack it and see what happens. You know, but like I said, Spencer, you're my witness. All the lads that grew up on that estate, you know, look where some of them ended up going on to be. Look what the media call their old friends, the family. You can choose your mate, Spencer. You can't choose your family. You know, and as long as you don't tell on anybody, people will still have respect for you. You can beat the brakes out of me, Spencer. Them bastards had me in the van, burning me feet. They had me tied like a hog in the back of a van. And as soon as I got in the van, I knew, here, a hood put out me head, Spencer, right? And I knew who was in the van. I could tell by their voices. I was like, I'm fucked. I was getting hit with wheel braces, the end of Lucy, in a baseball bat. I dragged back to Ballyfermot, fucked into a field, the beating of my life, fucked onto a railway line, and as I'm like that, leaking from my eye, my nose, my mouth, I seen Gibbo, and Spencer, it broke me fucking heart. Because I could see it in his face. He was like, what have I just fucking done? But he said to me when I met him the last time, that when Lisa's dad passed away, I met him on a hospital corridor. I'll never forget it. I don't believe in coincidence. Harper told me he was dead. So I thought he was dead. So when I seen him, he said, you, McDonald. And I'm looking and I'm like, you're a fucking dead man. I'm like, you're fucking dead. How come you're pushing a patient down a fucking hospital corridor if you're dead here? Can you see him? In fact, hang on, let me fucking see if this is real. I grabbed him and Hulk smashed him against the wall. And I realised it wasn't a delusion. I had my arms around his neck, Spencer, and you know he was swinging back at me because, like I said, Gibbo was what you call a real bad man. 3 assassins come to kill him and he's still not dead, the ginger cunt. You know, so I said, "Course I forgive you. You're alive, you know, and we're in the same city. You know what I mean? And we have baby mothers from the city. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end me live and I'll talk to you all later on. I'm gonna go in and have a cup of tea, and God bless you for coming in. I'll see you later on. We out. Come on, baby. It won't end for me. Oh.